So, welcome to the third part of our self-isolation coronavirus layout. Because we are self-isolating and because I'm not very well and I can't do the jobs in the garden I want, we have actually done quite a lot of this. It's come along a little bit quicker than we expected. So, what you're seeing here is how far we've got with it. And what we'll do now is we'll show you how we got here. So we've got a few little bits of film of how we did the wagons, how we did the track and how we did the building. And then we'll come back at the end. We filmed it in lots of little bits and we'll tie it all together. So just showing this as well, something I've been working on is obviously, I've got these wagons all ready to go as well with loads, which we'll show another time. But I also thought it'd be good to use our own Tippler wagons, our own 3D printed ones in and out of the quarry. So all I've been doing, they're quite a mixed collection actually. I've bought wagons cheap and chassis. I've got bags of wheels, bags of couplings. So I sat yesterday and put it all together. I mean, some of them were literally chassis, which I've had to add wheels and couplings to. You can see here where I've added bits of lead to the weights. And then I've started gluing them together, putting cardboard in there because I want to raise the level slightly to put loads. So we'll have 3 loaded and 3 unloaded. But, you know, they'll turn out to be quite cheap. They cost me about 50p a pound each, some of those chassis. So just before, at the end of the video, you'll see this painted, but I thought it'd be interesting just to show you the construction techniques. It's just fiberboard, mounting board, cereal packet, and corrugated cardboard that you buy for wrapping parcels, basically. Something I've tried new here is just run a knife line along it to show the panel lines. But I will also put some beams and things in just to lighten it up. And this is just cereal packet around the edge. That'll be painted a contrasting colour, and I've added a bit of a tunnel here so that when it's on the layout and you look along the track from this sort of angle, it won't be too obvious that you haven't got a building there. So we'll show that finished a bit later in the video. So here's something else a bit different we're doing on this layout. Normally I don't bother painting track and that sort of thing, but I thought to make it look a bit more industrial and it's only a small area, I've just painted the edges of the rails. I'm only using Humbrol 29 because I have a lot of the little paint pots that came in Airfix kits once that I got cheap. And just to give you, and then what I've done is dry brush the track with the same emulsion colour as we dry brushed everything else. So if you have a little look at that and then you look at, say, that bit of track or that bit of track, you can see how it blends in more. Now, I know this is getting a little bit more, high detail than we normally do, but I just thought for a little bit of work, it's just a little bit of paint and dry brushing. It does help the track to blend into the background. And then we've also been just dry brushing. That bit went a little bit wrong, but the ballast mat as well to make it a little bit more dusty. So hopefully you can see the difference between this bit of track that looks like part of the landscape and that looks quite rowy. Quite model railway like. So this is the finished building now. It's been painted green. Now what I did was I only put 1 coat of emulsion on. Now fortunately, because it's brown underneath, it looks like rust. I didn't want a perfect finish. I've then picked some bits out in grey and dry brushed it with emulsion. It's as simple as that. Doug's printed me off some high-vis markings, sort of hazard markings, and then I've carried on the United signs both there and there. Now there is a guy in Continental Modeler who does these inordinate bits of work on how to do signs. I just dabbed it with a brush. They actually come from a 3DK kit. Did actually say United Dairies originally. So this building I'm quite pleased with. I think that looks realistic. Considering it's just made out of cardboard, I'm quite happy with that. We then move along a little bit and we've got our Tippler wagons now all painted, dry brushed, filled full of a load, and we've also got some that we've done as empty wagons with just a little bit scattered in the bottom. So again, I think they're very effective for what they are. And of course we've painted our loco, which has come up rather nicely. I don't know if Doug can get the hazard stripes on the back. Now these stripes on the back, Doug just prints them off on a printer on paper and we stick them on. Quite frankly, you can't tell they're not painted on. So it's a good little one for anybody who needs those for their locos, and we'll weather that a bit when it's done. At the other end, you can see now that we've got the building finished, the low relief warehouse building. Again, nice and simple. The windows are just made out of black paper with sellotape over them and self-adhesive labels and a little bit of card to make the windowsill. And I think they're really effective given how simple they are to make. And then the really clever bit is what Doug's done, and I did an off-the-cuff comment to Doug and said, how about doing a photo back scene? So he's gone online, found a picture of a quarry, blown it up, printed it on A4 paper, stuck it to serial packet card, which we've then stuck to a bit of MDF laminate flooring, our usual back scene material of choice. This is quite a bit of a revelation to me, because these are about £15–20 to buy new. Doug's literally just gone on the internet, found a photo, printed it and made a photo back scene. So I've got big plans now, if Doug pans right, to I wonder what we can do with the back of this layout with a country scene using the same technique. Now I know it's quite expensive on printer ink, but it's a lot less than buying these pre-made photo ones. So I'm quite happy with that. I think it's something a lot of people could pick up on. I've left the toilet rolls in place. I've taken the arm guard off now, they don't seem in such short supply. So quite a bit then this week done, and it's really coming along nicely. Once we've got all the track done, and I've got a bit of time to do the track, hopefully very soon we'll be doing a Locos Running operating video to show how much fun they can have, particularly with the switchback. I was working it out the other night, and just simply getting full hoppers out and empty hoppers in is going to be quite an interesting job. So there we go, quite a lot done this week. At least we're doing something useful with our enforced idleness. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you've all got food and toilet rolls. I hope you're all getting a little bit of model railways done, and I'm sure some jobs around the house as well. But this has come along somewhat quicker than I expected. And I think what I really like is, given I never planned any of it, it's all somehow quite coherent. And it's all been done from stuff that I've basically made myself, and most of it from previous layouts, which is why it's so quick. So I'm quite pleased with that. I know a few people have enjoyed watching it. I know a few people have been inspired. And those of you that said about a harbour layout will be pleased to know I already have a baseboard and a track plan worked out, a really unusual one. So perhaps in a few weeks we might do a little video on our harbour scene as well. For those of you that voted for the harbour scene rather than the quarry, we might actually do both, and then everybody's a winner. Okay, stay safe, stay well. Keep washing your hands, stay self-isolated please, don't panic buy, and we'll see you again next week. Hi, thanks for watching the video and for the nice comments. Click on the left for a previous video in this series, click on the right for another video you might enjoy, and please don't forget to click to subscribe, like, comment, etc. Thanks again.